Dear exchange students, welcome to Brazil. My name is Catherine Haig and I am from the United States. I have been studying abroad at PUC since last August and I will be here till the end of this semester. During my summer vacation in Brazil, which happens during the month of December and January, I traveled throughout Brazil alone. I visited 14 cities in the span of 2 months. I'd like to show you some highlights from my trip and share with you some tips to plan your own trip. My trip started December 2nd, and my first stop was a city called Alto Paraíso in the state of Goiás. Alto Paraíso is a funky little town that is known as a hippie spiritual place. There have apparently been sightings of aliens and other strange things, and the whole town is apparently located underneath a huge rose quartz, which people say gives the city its mystical aspect. I stayed here for 5 days, and it's really cool because the town is located right next to a national park called Chapada dos Veadeiros. While I was there, I made friends with people from the hostel, and we went to several waterfalls, including a crystal blue waterfall. I visited Quilombo, hot springs, canyons, and a really cool place called Vale da Lua. Next, I caught a bus to Foz de Iguaçu in the state of Paraná. While there, I visited a bird park in both the Argentinian and the Brazilian side of Foz. While on the Argentinian side, I got to take an awesome boat ride that went under a lot of the waterfalls. Ultimately, I would have to say that I like the Argentinian side more because it was bigger and there are a lot more trails, and I felt like you could actually get closer to the waterfalls on the Argentinian side, whereas on the Brazilian side, you were kept at a distance. Also, the Argentinian side had a cool train you could take to different sections of the waterfall. It was pretty amazing to see the Devil's Throat from the Argentinian side. However, what I did like about the Brazilian side is how you have a beautiful panoramic view of the falls, and at the end of the trail, there's a wonderful part where you can get pretty close to the Devil's Throat and get a good view of it from the bottom, and also you get pretty wet. Skipping ahead to January, I stopped at a city called Itacaré in the northeast of Brazil, which is probably my favorite city I visited. I stayed there for 10 days, and I just loved everything about the city: the beaches, the music, the people, the energy. Itacaré has some of the most beautiful beaches I'd ever seen. I really like this one beach called viagempelobrasil. There's a trail from a waterfall that you can take to this beach, and on the way you walk through a beautiful mangrove before reaching a river that takes you to the beach. I really liked the river because you could float in it and the water would just carry you. However, I think one of the most unique aspects about this city is not just its beaches, but how musical of a place it is. All of the beaches always had 1 or 2 people with a guitar, and at night in the main street there was always music or a dance performance. This city really sticks out to me for how musical it is. I spent the last leg of my trip on a small island in Bahia called Ilha de Boipeba. I really liked this cute little island, and it had a lot less tourists than its close-by sister, Morro de São Paulo. The beaches here were amazing and deserted. On the boat ride over, I made some Chilean friends and spent my last night of my trip, January 26, walking on the beach with my new friends, and we were all looking up at the stars, and we were amazed at how many stars there were in the sky. My 2-month trip in Brazil was about to end, and it had been one of the best experiences of my life. Now I would like to offer you some tips that made my experience so great so that you too can start planning your own trip. Number 1, stay in hostels. Staying in hostels is a great way to save money. Most of the hostels I stayed at in Brazil were only about 30 or 40 reais per night. In addition, hostels are a great way to meet other travelers, exchange travel tips, and just to do other cool things such as going to the beach or going out to eat with new people. I met many cool people through hostels, and sometimes hostels will organize cool excursions to beaches or other tourist points. In addition, most hostels offer free breakfasts and have fully equipped kitchens. Number 2, travel by bus. Traveling by bus can be cheaper, better for the environment, and a great way to see the country. Number 3, spend money on experiences, not souvenirs. Studies show that in the end, we value our experiences more than things we have bought. While it is nice to have physical remembrances of where you have been, in the future you'll value that money more if you spend it on experiences rather than items. Items offer us a temporary happiness that fades, but the happiness of having new and exciting experiences often grows over time. Number 4, spending less can often be more. You do not always need to spend big bucks on fancy boat rides or whitewater rafting. Sometimes going to the beach with friends from your hostel can be just as fun. One of my favorite travel experiences was going on a 5-hour hike with friends I met in the hostel, and it cost me nothing. Number 5, the benefits of traveling alone. I really enjoyed my time traveling alone. Traveling alone opened me up to meeting many new people. It also allowed me to spend time alone reflecting, and it helped me to grow my confidence and independence. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the video and that it has inspired you to go out and do your own traveling in Brazil. I promise it's easier and less scary than it seems. Happy traveling!